Hey, everybody. We are live. I am here. How's everyone doing? I see everyone's chatting it up. Excellent. Excellent. Got my glasses on tonight and I had to dim my screen because you could see the reflection. So I can barely see my screen, but I can see enough to read. Thank you. Thank you, Heather, for my compliment on my glasses. We got a nice group tonight. It looks like everyone's here. Let me just check something on the Patreon and see what's going on over there. See if, I don't know. Just make sure that if you're watching this on the Patreon, I'm not going to really see the comments. I know most of you know that, but I have to state that, like, important. Let me just make sure people aren't, I know that Holly can't be with us and we're praying for Holly. She's got some stuff going on with her, some serious stuff going on in her area, natural disaster stuff. So we're praying for Holly. Okay, I think everyone is there on here. All right, cool. So I just want to welcome the new patron this week is Stephanie Zisler. I think that's how you say her name, Stephanie Zisler. I don't think I welcomed her last week. I think she came here after that. So just welcome to her. It's been a pretty amazing week. It's been pretty wild for me. It's been, I want to talk about some stuff. I want to get into it a little bit here. Just to let everyone know, remind everyone, I posted the list for the group session. The group session is tomorrow night. I'm doing the group session tomorrow night. And I posted the list with the names, as many, all of it updated as much as I can. There was a lot of missing names from people that I've never got names from. I really wish they would send me a name. It's nice to be able to ask for everyone that has a name, so I wish I could do that. I'm just taking a look. God, there's so many of you here. I love it. It's great. Hello to everyone. So yeah. Oh, there's Stephanie. There you go. Cool. And Michelle's her first time here. She said, let's see. I'm just going to do a little roll call here. We got Grace, we got Crystal, we got Lizzie, Tammy, Christina, Deborah, Dangerous Deb, John. All right. Lisa, my love. There's Susan, Steve, my man Steve. I like that. He's there. Heather, Randy, Dana, Rebecca. I love it. I love you all. So cool. Connie. It's like you're all my family, We're all family. Shannon. I love it. Let's see. Who am I missing? Mary Jensen. Very nice. I know there's someone I'm probably missing here. Hold on. Let me see. Don't like to miss anyone. You can probably hear Tigger snoring. Kathy. Knew I was going to miss someone if I didn't go all the way to the top. Kathy's here. Very cool. So, yeah, group session tomorrow night. I want to talk about that a little bit more. The two main things I want to talk about are the group session and the Anthony Bourdain session. That could take us into hours of talking. I really could talk about that for a long time. And the point and the benefit of having Patreon is being able to discuss this in depth, say what I want to say, whatever, which I pretty much say on the YouTube video. But, I get to really go in depth with you guys about it. So before we go any further, though, group session, let's just talk about it because it's important. So I posted the list of the names and come on, man. He breathes like James Gandolfini did in Sopranos. It's terrible. My cat. So the group session, I'm doing it tomorrow night, 11 p.m., same time as I normally do it. I posted the list. You guys have updated it. You give me names, so that's great. I wanted to do the 2 sessions, but I'm not going to do that this month. It's almost baby time. We're just days away, I would say. I mean, she's hoping that we can go in on the 29th, Tuesday night, I think. Thursday or Tuesday, Wednesday night, Tuesday night, I think. Maybe Tuesday. Anyway, next week, or I think, or the week after. So, yeah. But so tomorrow night, I should be able to do it. No problem. Very easy. And all I'm asking for you, I see, Michelle's asking, there's nothing you have to tune into. Most of you, of course, all know this. I've posted many group sessions now at this point. And is Monday, 29th is Monday. Okay, so 29 or Tuesday. Tuesday I'm going in with Nikki, hopefully, for the baby. But so for the group session, anyone just ask, do a little meditation, center yourself a little bit, take some time to do that and ask a few times. I would say, in the morning and afternoon and then at night again. And of course, if any of you are up around the 11 o'clock Eastern time, PM, excuse me, it would be cool if you're trying to focus on that and talking to your loved one saying, hey, he's doing the session now. There may be a long line. There may be a wait. There may be, moments of disorganization. Who knows? Have some patience, check back, go. I mean, these are things you could say. And I would say that this is ridiculous. If I heard anyone talking like this about the afterlife and about how that works, I would say, he's out of his mind. But yeah, like the DMV, Heather says, I equate it to the DMV. It sounds like it when they're talking. It sounds like, the line's too long, it's taking too long. A lot of them forget, or not a lot of them, but we've heard in every session almost that there's a lot, or there's at least someone that's forgot about it. I remember Bainham, which was Deborah's husband, he forgot and then came late. And someone said, let's wait for him. Stan was, I think, Yolanda Abbott's father, and he was late. And they said, oh, Stan, he didn't come with Stan. Yep, Crystal's uncle was taking a dump, apparently. I guess you could still take a dump. So who knows? But yeah, so you want to remind them. You want to remind them. And I think that's part of it. Oh, man, I remember that group night with the cursing. Yeah, there was some cursing. I don't think that cursing is terrible sometimes. We've talked about this before. I'm not saying I think extreme profanity is bad, but I've heard the spirits use it at times, not in a bad way. Just, it's intent. You're correct, right? It's intent. So anyway, group session. What are we thinking about for responses? Well, you guys have heard the majority of the responses. If I do the roll call, you're getting either a guide saying your loved one's name or repeating your name, which is normally what I say. So I'll say your name, the patron who it's for, and then they'll say, oh, for this person. And then they'll, get a message from the loved one. It sounds like it's not, some of them, the loved ones are able to say their own message, and you can kind of hear that it's a different voice, or it's a woman's voice, or a man's voice. But a lot of times it sounds like the guides are just relaying messages for you. And they could just be little messages of hope. I just want everyone, and the majority of you do. Some, now, I'm not going to say some people have a higher expectation for the responses, but I think that you're only going to get an acknowledgement. You're going to get, I'm fine, I love you, I'm here, or they'll say their name. I think that's what it is. That's really the kind of stuff it is. And then when I go off of the roll call, any of these spirits can come through, say what they want. Spirits that are in extreme pain or having a hard time, they're the ones that get more attention from the guides. They're the ones that come through clearer on the recorders. That's just what I've seen. As if it was, Deborah's husband who had committed suicide. He came through very strong, when it came time for his messages. The Anthony Bourdain came through. Tentacion came through very clear. Mac Miller came through very clear. These people were in pain. You know, they were not, you know, rolling in heaven in those moments. So there was, you know, even Adam, my friend, came through so clear many times because he still hadn't crossed over. There was still some of that raw energy. And I think that was giving them, I mean, those really clear DR60 messages that I can, and then coming through the box as clearly as they can. So I think with your loved ones, a lot of them that have been on for a year or two or more now and have started to work their way up towards the right direction in a sense, they're, you know, you're not going to get maybe mind-blowing responses, but if you can get one or two responses that are just acknowledging your loved one or them saying something, yeah, it's them checking in with you. I mean, it's the coolest thing ever, you know? And so Josh said only one person. Yes, only one person. I don't want to ask for multiple people. I think it's easier if we just, I mean, if someone else can come through, then they will, but I'm not going to ask for them. I'm only going to ask for one person. So, I mean, that's what I'm doing. Next month, hopefully all goes well and I can do this, what I'm thinking. I'm going to take the 80 or so names and break them up. I'm going to split them in two. So I'll do, in the first part of the month, I'll do a 35, 40 loved one session. And then the second part of the month, I'll do the same. And that's it. And we'll go from there. Clearly, if I use more intuition and more psychic ability, I get more, but then there's less I feel like that can come. Then it's like there's a trade-off. When you look at Steve Huff's sessions, his private sessions, or not his private, I mean his group sessions, he's doing he's exercising more of his psychic ability in those, and I think that's really cool. But he, it's like it's hard for. My goal is to get as many of you replies, even if it's just "I love you" or "I'm here." I'm trying to get as many of yours in one group session as possible, 40 or 50 acknowledgments instead of the 25 or 30 that I get. Maybe that's too much. Maybe that's just not going to happen. So it has to be split up. So anyway, I'm glad I'm going through this with you guys again, because it's just important that you all understand what it is that I feel I can do and can't do sometimes with these group sessions. I feel kind of, so we're going to just keep evolving with it and seeing what's happening. Nikki's just getting home with, I think, her grandmother she just picked up at the airport, who was coming in for the birth of our child. So there might be some dog barking and some sounds. I've locked the door, so I think I'm good. But just letting you know. Thank you, Susan. They just passed. What if they just passed? Do they feel easier? Hold on. Let me just silence my phone. What if they just passed? Do you feel they are easier to reach? Yeah. I mean, Steve is right about that. I think that, he said within the first 24, 48, 72 hours, it's easier to contact loved ones. And I think that's true. Like I said, I think it's people that are in extreme pain or in that really raw place that haven't fully crossed yet. Why can Michael do that with me? That's because he's very connected to me and there's a great connection there. And I think that's why, I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe I just have that thing that I can get spirits to speak to me clearer than others. I don't like to think that way. I think that there's reasons for these things. I don't think it's about anything else. But I mean, yes, I have a connection clearly, and it's pretty good at times. And sometimes it sucks. Like I feel like it sucks. I mean, what's interesting, and I'm going to just segue right into it. So I'm just going to finish off on the, group session. If you have any questions about it, ask me, let me know. But tomorrow night, that's when it's happening. And it will take me about a week or so, or a few days or so, to get it reviewed and posted. All right. Just wanted to let you know that. I think what is interesting about the connection aspect of it is that prior to the Anthony Bourdain session, I did 3 little 15-minute sessions here at the house, and just, like I just did, same box in the same spot on the desk, and camera facing me, and just checking in with the guides and just asking about things and what was going on. Other than Michael coming through saying he loved me and that he or everything was okay in the sense and everything was fine. I really wasn't understanding a lot of things. And so I scrapped these sessions. I mean, I went through them. I got messages for myself. I got some things that I needed to hear, but nothing I could put together and make put a video together. So it was like, oh man, that's really, hey, Amelia, that was really, I was like, oh, what the hell's going on, But when I have a purpose and I have a reason of wanting to help, fully, it gets supported. And hence what happened with Anthony Bourdain happened. I'll just go through that again in a little bit more detail so we can talk about that. I was watching, I've always had somewhat of a connection to him. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because he had semi-addiction issues in the past, but kind of slayed his own dragons. So he said, I love the way he was out there. He was just no holds barred. He would go out there. He was doing something that I want to do. One day I want to travel and I want to and do what I do here with these sessions in other places. And I want to do that, whether it's a show or something I can produce myself, whatever. So watching him do that and really get to the nitty gritty, I thought that was really cool. And so anyway, I watched the final shows the other night. And then I went in and I went outside, and no, the baby was not born, Grace. No, not yet. No. The 29th, 30th, 31st is when we're hoping to go in. So I went outside and I sat under the stars. And this is what happened. I knew that I could do a regular session like I did Tentacion and Mac Miller and, all the others with the reverse speech and everything else. And yeah, guys, I'm sorry. So I knew I could do that. But I wanted to do something more this time. I wanted to try to really rely on my intuition. I really wanted to rely on my intuition. Let me make sure. I don't know if this controls. I don't think this controls my speaker. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, that's just the... All right, you guys can hear me okay, right? Yeah, I think you can. So I knew that I wanted to really, again, I've talked about it. When I got this thing, it was like the beginning of a new level of communication, but I also started to rely on this and the gear a little bit more than I should have. And the intuition is really, it's the most important thing. And that's the connection to God, the connection to the guides, connection to spirit, connection to yourself, the intuition, the psychic abilities that we all have. That's the most important thing. But I definitely fell into relying on this. So I knew that there was a time coming that I was going to have to get back into it. Hey, Bruce, I was going to have to get back into and trust more of my intuition than anything else. That's when I went outside. I said, I'm just going to talk to him psychically. I'm not going to do anything with the gear. And I couldn't believe how clear I felt like I was getting him. Now, I just had watched the show, so that might have helped with the visualization. That really might have helped a lot. And, and by visualizing, it created a stronger connection. And I mean, I could hear him talking to me the way that, he would talk, and it wasn't things he had said before. It was things that he was saying, new things. And I just went with it. I couldn't doubt it. I just had to stay with it. And it was more, I said it in the video, it was more real of a conversation than I had with a lot of people out here. It was almost like that is a way more reality than this reality. And I believe that more and more now. And that's what he said, I'm comfortable in an uncomfortable place. And yeah, I'll talk to you. He was not cocky, but he was kind of a little like being more of, like, I'm in a shitty place, but I'm not going to release the fact that I'm really kind of not in control. You know what I'm saying? It's like he wanted me to still feel like he had some kind of control, even though he was in a crappy spot. And that he didn't know what to think. I don't know about embarrassed. I don't think he was embarrassed. I think he was more trying to keep a cool, demeanor, and, a little bit of talking and my humility and just talking to him about it. He said, yeah, I'll talk, I can't remember word for word exactly everything, but it was so great. I was just in the conversation. When I get into that mode, I can literally just mouth the words they're talking and whisper it. If I hear my voice, like channeling word, I can do almost word for word channeling, like Connie, the medium, did. I can do that, but then I hear my own voice, and it's like a cat chasing his tail. And then I hear my own voice, and it's like a cat chasing his tail, dog chasing his tail. So I now record it, right? Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about doing this. So I don't know. This is what I'll share with you what my thought was about that in a minute. But so I sat there. I said, he said, can you, he's like, you can explain a little bit more to me if you'd like. And I said, well, I'd like to get you through the box and try. I mean, would you try that? And he said, yeah, I'll try it. So this time I went to him. Like, I went through the door from that room to him in this changing place. It was kind of weird. It was like, didn't have a lot of structure to it, but it wasn't just a black nothing. I can't describe what it was, but it was just, so then I came in, I set up the gear, and when I went to connect with him, he came to the room this time. So it was like he was coming to me. And he showed up in a black shirt, black pants. And it was like, he was like, all right, let's do this thing. Like, he sat down, he was tall, he's tall. Like, he sat down and he was just like, all right, come on. Let's try this, I guess, I think he left that message. That message was him. It almost sounded like it was like an ex or someone talking, because it was like, he was like, what did he say? He said, must have fallen. God hates me. People think I'm going crazy, but I'm not. It's hard. And love the crazy love they had for me. Or love the crazy love they had for me. And, that's a statement. That's a strong statement, very clear, unmistakable, the way I could hear it. I wasn't questioning what was being said a million times. I could hear it. It was like, wow. And, Michael said, yeah, he's alone, like, help him out, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. And then you hear me. I'm like, what am I, so egotistical to think that no one has helped him? And that's going to get me to a question that I'm going to bring up. Someone brought up on the YouTube page that I want to throw out there to you guys. Because it was a thought of mine. But so now he, it's like, yeah, he knew he was dead. He knew he was dead. But it was like, he just didn't know where to go. He was like, well, where do I go from here? Like, what else do I do? Like, what else is there to go from here? And that's what he was thinking. But he still felt like he was in like a place of like unsure to trust me fully or to ask too many questions about it. The dog. I don't think he can. I wish we could have known if he could see your guides. I don't think so. No, I think he had to experience, this was a me and him, mano a mano thing. This wasn't like, oh, bring in the crowd. So before I go any further, so I did the first session, really blown away, and said, I'm going to do this again tomorrow night. Okay. Before I move on to the second part of that, I'm going to read this question to you. This is from a good friend of mine, not a good friend of mine, let me rephrase it. This is someone who's been following me for years, like most of you have, and have commented and exchanged with. I don't know why he's not a patron. He should be. But you know, I don't know. I don't think it's purgatory. If it's a purgatory, yeah, you know, so Grace brought this up. Grace, remind me about this. You asked me about this purgatory or hell thing. Bring that up because I'm so firing all of my brain and I'll forget. But bring that up to me again, please, because I want to touch on that there. Okay. This guy Keith Argiles, I think his name is. He's a good subscriber, great guy here. He says now he's not saying this disrespectfully to me in any way. Okay, I want to read this to you. He's not saying this in a bad way. He's just got a legitimate question, and I thought the same thing. He says, Josh, he goes, Josh, you know what I don't understand? How can every psychic or medium get so many different answers for the same person? I know you're legit, but are these mediums legit? They say he's doing great and just missed his daughter. I mean, hold on, where are you guys? There you are. Hold off on the questions for 1 second, okay? Hold off on just give me 1 second. Just because I want to touch on this. And you guys are asking a bunch of great questions, and I'm going to miss them. So just hold on for 1 second. The question that Keith just asked is a very good one. Am I to think? Oh, Keith is your friend. Good, Rebecca. He's a good guy. Am I to think I'm the only person that has tried to reach out to Anthony Bourdain and try to help him? Am I to think that I'm the only one that was effective in helping him? That is hard for me to understand. Do you know how many people there are in this world? There are channels on YouTube of people doing things like this, and I haven't found them yet. You haven't found them yet. This is a big world. So all the other mediums that said he's doing fine and he just misses his daughter, they're wrong. Now, I will say this. If I didn't get the evidence, hold on, you guys are saying things I can't understand. Okay. If I didn't get the evidence that I got, I wouldn't believe it as much. Meaning, if I didn't get the messages through here in the box saying, all these things, why would my psychic reading on him be right? And how would we verify that, So the gear goes a long way to do that. And, the only other possibility it could be when we look at this on a scientific level is that, okay, maybe it wasn't him and maybe it wasn't. It was all my guides and all the spirits just lying and putting on a big ruse. I don't believe that. I'm just, as a scientist in a way, giving you all the different possibilities. But yeah, I mean, what's to say my session was the definitive session in helping Anthony Bourdain, other than the evidence that shows that it was. But to think that I was the only one that got it right and all that is a hard one to deal with. I don't understand why if someone is going through depression or committed suicide, okay, listen, this is, thank you for bringing this up. Let me address this, guys. First of all, no one is being punished. Hold on for a second. Just hold on for any questions here. No one is being punished. A man takes a gun and shoots a little kid in the face. One of the most horrible things you could think of, They just created a kind of karma for themselves. They created themselves something that now they're going to have to experience and deal with in the afterlife. I don't believe the guy with the horns comes and grabs you by the feet and hands or the neck and drags you down to a cage in a lava pit and puts you in it to replay your worst day ever. I don't know. We create a lot of our own hell. Okay. God is waiting for us to wake up, accept him, and try to keep him in our lives every minute of the day. When someone who commits suicide, who is in severe pain, and I don't know this as fact, I am just telling you hey Nancy, I'm just telling you what my opinion is. When someone commits suicide out of pain, okay, they're going to go to a place where they're not going to be in pain physical pain, torturous pain, punished pain, they're going to go to a timeout. They're going to go to a place that's quiet. There will be no distractions of people around them to get them away from what they need to be thinking about. The people that have committed suicide, regardless of mental illness, pain, whatever it is, they just need to gather their time. They need to get some time. They just need some space. They need to understand. They don't understand that, but God knows what they need. Not even their own guides can go there and just interfere and go, hey, man, I've been here your whole time. So it's not the minute that Anthony, and I'm going to get to the second part of the session in what happened in the channeling part that I did not disclose in the video, that unless you're a patron, you won't know what the hell happened. But he was not being punished. He just didn't accept God. He didn't accept a version of God. He didn't accept to have a belief in God. He thought he was a God. Not enough like he's going to be a tyrant, but he thought he was the maker of his own destiny in the way that there wasn't a co-creator with him. And that's where we go wrong. Okay? That's what I'm understanding. That's what's helping me. The minute he was ready to start forgiving himself, because he didn't want to forgive himself, the minute he wanted to start talking to a higher power on a personal level, this is when this stuff opens up for him. So he was the one keeping him there. No one was keeping him there. So I hope that answers your question, Grace, because I don't think that no one who commits suicide is being punished in any way. But on the other hand, if they are alone, they are to sort things out. How can they do that without help and support? Because they're supposed to come to awaken. And our souls have all of the knowledge inside of us. But the ego is what blocks it. Well, Anthony Bourdain's ego was still blocking it. Whether the ego's telling him that he's not good enough or he's too good, that's ego. There's no God. There can't be some omnipresent, omnipotent deity is going to come out of the sky. I don't believe that. Show me to believe it. I got to see it to believe it. That's ego. So that's where I believe that has to get broken down. Where does ego get broken down? In pain. Where does pain come from? Isolation. Yeah. It does make sense. And that's divine. That's not Josh's answer. That's more of a divine answer. Lonnie's on. Scottish Cat is on the Patreon side. I feel bad. Hold on. I want to stay with this Grace thing for a minute. I understand, but to get through the emotional stuff, sometimes you need support, just like, yeah, so call on God. You're thinking like this is someone that, like, you got to at least just cry out to God. When are you desperate? Foxhole prayer. God, help me. Then there's an opening. That's where that comes from. What you're taught, I understand, but to get through the emotional stuff, sometimes you need support, just like you support spirits when yeah, I understand that. But there has to be some. What if Anthony Bourdain just had such a problem with God, and then God shows up against his will and says, I'm real, and you didn't believe in me your whole life, or I'm here for you, my son, I love you. That could cause a problem. That's a violation of free will almost. So I think there's more to be said about that. Nothing is permanent though. So if you think that eventually, or that he will never get to that point on his own, I don't think that's the case. And time is delineated. It's not linear in the fourth, fifth, and upper dimensions. So to think of it is that he's been there for 5 years, 6 years. I mean, Adam was not crossed for, he died in what, 11? So 7 years. Bainim was the same, I think, according to Deborah. So that's my answer for that. Let me go through the second part. We're coming up on the second half hour of this, and I want to stay with it. I want to make sure my cats are about to attack each other and make all kinds of noises. Hey, break it up. Go. Yeah, I know. That's not, you want to go out there? All right, go. You want to go out? No. You know what? You come on. Go sit over here. There. Okay. They're only good for about a half an hour, and then acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. Buddha says suffering is only due to attachment. Acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. Second part of this session. So I go after the first part, I review it. I'm really blown away. Now I have answers of what he said to me. So now I can bring those answers into the second session. I definitely was not going to just do a session without at least trying to connect intuitively again, being that I had such a great connection with him. So now I go back outside. By the way, I'm doing this outside. I do my best reading, my best channeling outside. It's the house. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm normally looking at Orion's belt when I'm doing this stuff. I don't know what the significance, of course, other than the fact that Orion's belt is lined up with the pyramids of Giza, and that they say the star people come and gods come from Orion's belt and Orion constellation. So, so I'm out there and I'm connecting with, calm down. I go right to him. This was interesting. This time I go to like a field. He was not there. Then I went somewhere else. Like I went to like a beach side. That's it. I went to a beach side and there he was. He was on the beach side, like by the water. And he's like, sit with me, let's sit. And I sit with him and he has a drink and I had my vape and we talked. He says, this is what I love. I love this. This is my spot in my mind. Is what I think about. I said, it's very nice. I said, I enjoy this. I could sit here a lot. And he says, he goes, all right, so tell me. He goes, you said you help people. You help spirit cross over. He says, what is it that you tell them? If someone says they're stuck, what do you tell them? And I said, I started to talk to them about it. I started telling him that, I just tell him to start thinking about a power greater than ourselves. We can have a personal connection with that power, and he's, yeah. And we just sat and talked you talked about significant stuff in a way, but we really just had this, hey, Holly, oh, I'm glad you're on. And I, before I went into it too much, there was really just a lot of like kind of bro time. It was weird. It was like he just wanted to sit and just chill for a minute. And, but then I said, hey, you know what? I'll go through the rest of this. I said, but let me ask for you on the box again. Let me just do it one more time and see if we can try. And he says, all right, I'll try. Because I can't promise anything. I don't know what I can do, but I'll try it again. And I said, okay. And when I did, that's the second session. You heard what you heard. I felt like I wasn't getting him as clear coming through the interview the second time around. So I kind of felt like maybe he wasn't getting it. He was getting frustrated. So I don't want to waste his time anymore. I figured I would have more time to go through it again with him, but then I got off. I said, all right, kindly, I disconnected, whatever, got off. And then I went in and I listened and I heard, you didn't go through it. I'm in the tunnel, I see my father's in the tunnel. I don't know who was Michael saying that? Help him. He's alone. I was like, wow. Is someone asking? I don't want to get caught off my story here, but because if they were in pain before they died, Tony was they may never call for God to help them because they feared punishment, abandonment. Yeah, that's a very good point, Grace. That could very well be the case. And, it's really important to be thinking of God when we die, to be in a state of grace if we can, because it could really throw us off. So anyway, when listening to what I was listening to, I was like, this guy's like freaking hanging over here waiting for me to help him. And I freaking shut the session down, not realizing, holy cow. I'm like, oh, close the computer, turn everything off. And I like ran outside and I was like, I'm here, man. I'm like, no, I'm here. I'm like, I did not leave you. I'm like, I did not leave you. And now this was the deal. All right, so check this out. Don't write me any more comments yet. Listen to this. He comes to the room this time. I'm no longer with him at his place, wherever that was. He's in the room with me, this like astral room with a door, but the room is safe in the inside, but I could still kind of see space around it, outside of it. But I'm, and there's a table and I'm sitting at a chair and he's sitting with me. And my connection was a little weird at first. Yeah, we're talking about Bourdain, Holly. Yes, we are. This is what happened after the second session. And I realized that he needed help and I didn't help him in that second session like I was going to. So I'm in the astral room. He's sitting down. He's just like, kind of like, sitting there with like his hands on his legs, like, all right, like, let's go through this, man. Like, what? All right. Like, what am I doing? What are we talking about? Like, this is really, he's like, this is weird. I don't know. Like, you're telling me that God's going to help. I don't know. Like, and I started talking to him in a way that it started to like let out emotion. And like, he freaking went into some, like, I know that feeling when you just need to let it all out. And you're like, F it. I don't care anymore. I'm going to cry like a sobbing child. I'm in pain. This sucks. F this. I hate this. I love that. Like, it was like a dumping of everything. It was like just a primal feeling of just wanting to kick and scream. And like, it was an accepting. It was like pushing a round peg through a square hole. And he was just like, I hate it, but I have to accept it if I want to do this. Like, this sucks. I was in control. I had this life and blah, blah, blah. Like, it was just like, and he started just saying like a release, complete release, like Crystal said. It was just like, and I just had to sit back and just let him, like, okay, I get it. Yeah, unload, dude. He got on the floor. He was just like, And I'm like, dude, start asking for God. Start asking for God. No, he hung himself. Tracy. He was going through this beautifully raw emotion. It was very real, and I could feel it. I was in the room, like, wow, yeah, like, I get it, And he started to say, like, I was like, all right, start asking for help. Like, just start telling God how you feel. But I said, more importantly than even asking for God, I said, the guides that keep telling me, man, like, they're ringing my little bell, telling me that you need to forgive yourself. You have to ask God to help you. He's like, help me forgive myself. Fine. Help me. This is too much. Oh God. It was really raw for him. And then, like, there was like this beam of light through the room that came down the floor, like a Star Trek, tractor beam or whatever. And he lifted about 4 or 5 feet off the ground, like he was like suspended in the light. And he I was talking out loud, whispering out back. Yeah, I was doing his words and my words. So it was really weird. And so I see him go up, and then I saw multiple hymns. I don't know what was happening. I don't know what was going on. It was like a breaking of a dimension. And then he went from the room to a blue place, like a dark blue kind of place. And then in the distance, I could see shadows of different spirit. I don't know who they were. I assume guides or angels or something. But he was still kind of alone in that space, but there was now something around. But it was in a blue place now. It was like one up. And then I kind of felt like, okay, I need to, like, I'm done here. Like, I gotta, and like the communicate, he was like, and I'm like, Anthony, I'm going to talk to you another time. Okay. I was like, I need to, like, dude, get off of him. I hate when you attack him. Hold on. Yeah, get out. Go. Go. Okay. We got 15 more minutes here, guys. I gotta go see the thing. So, remember what blue means? God, I think. I don't remember. So he, cat fight. Sorry, guys. Yeah, a little cat fight on the ground. Sorry. That's when I just got up and I went inside, and that's when I went and asked Michael. I said, Michael, tell me something clear, man. Please make it clear. And he did. He was like, he's like, helped a lot. He says, helped a lot. It worked. He says, and, I don't know what else he said. I forgot what else, but it was just absolutely amazing. It was absolutely fantastic. And so so then last night, I was just on a wonderful high from the session, all of it. And I was so grateful. And I went outside and I started talking to Jesus. And just like Bourdain was coming through, Jesus was coming through to me, as he has many times. And now I was whispering his words. And I was thinking, I was like, man, I got to start trying to record this then if I can, because if I can start, I just can't do the channeling like Connie does. She can like talk word for word, but she doesn't hear her voice. Like she just tunes it out. I start to hear my voice and like I get taken out of it. The reason I don't remember is because that part of the brain gets shut off. The logic part. I think it's the left brain, right? Right brain is the artistic. The left brain is the real logical side, I think. And so I'm in that other side or whatever it is, and so I'm going to try to start getting comfortable enough to sit out back and just not on camera or nothing, but I'm going to probably do it on a recorder, not the DR60. That's the worst thing to do it on because it's so like, well, maybe not. I might try it. Oh, I got to tell you this too. This is funny. So I'm going to start trying to do that. If I can give you guys Jesus' message, or if I can channel him and record him like he was talking to me last night, if I could have recorded what he said to me last night, you guys would have been on that for we could have talked the whole thing. I mean, he was telling me, he's like, you're not hearing the words, you're feeling them in your heart. That's what people do. They feel my words and, meaning his words in their heart, because he was the heart chakra guy. Like that was his thing. Buddha was the third eye chakra. That's how he came to enlightenment, was Buddha. Jesus came through the heart, 7 major chakras, 112 different chakras is what I'm being told. And it's absolutely mind blowing, and he was talking to me. He's like, keep on envisioning me. It's making me stronger. He's like, your other guides are sitting and listening to me talk to you right now. They're here. I then gave Michael a hug. I could feel Michael. I got up and hugged him. We were in like a circle. Jesus was talking to us in a circle. It's like freaking insane. Like it was awesome. It was mind blowing. He was commenting, on the books. These books are really powerful because they're getting me to think of Jesus like a lot more. And that's what's happening. This book is the top part. This is an AA kind of verbiage. This is just like about if you're in AA. If you're not in 12 steps or AA, don't worry about it. This is the gold. This is the gold. Okay. This is the most important. This is like God's words. All right. Rebecca's the one that reminded me of Jesus calling. I've always read this. I've been using it for years, and I put it on the shelf. I forgot. Rebecca sent me one day, right when I needed it. Bam, I got it. These are his words. This woman, Sarah, she went through the Bible and she pulls these verses and then she puts them into God's words. It's pretty amazing stuff. And Jesus confirms to me intuitively, yeah, those are my words. Yep, that's perfect. You'll read it. You'll say, oh my God, is that for me? That was for me. They wrote that for me. So this is what I've been running my Life Anonymous meeting on lately. This is very interesting stuff. I don't know. I found this on a table somewhere. Like I was like, God, I need some more literature for my Life Anonymous meeting. And then I'd like turn a day or two later and find this on an AA table sitting somewhere, just sitting there. Like they were like, who's this? Oh, they're like, I'm giving this away. I was getting rid of my books. So Through the Darkness, Glimmers of Hope. Huh? Isn't that crazy? Glimmers of Hope. 3 pages on different things. Becoming. Courage. Fear. So Michael says in one of those, you hear him, he says, leave the button on. I can leave them longer, he says. I started laughing. I'm like, I know you can leave them longer, but then I won't understand even most of it. So I said, all right. I said, one day this week, I'm going to turn the recorder on. I'm going to leave it playing for 5 minutes. Prepare a speech. Say what you want. I don't, go at it, dude. I'm going to give him a 5 minutes on the recorder for him to have and say whatever he wants. Because I had the night before I was going to bed, I was thinking about how frustrating it must be to be saying something and the person just hangs up on you. Like, all right, I've heard enough of what you're saying. Thanks. And hangs up on you. You're like, oh, I wasn't done. You heard Anthony. He's like, not done. Don't fucking hear me, So it must be so frustrating. But I'm trying to understand it so that it's not a 5-6 minute just. I know, poor Michael. I tell him it's a thankless job, Amelia. I went to Amelia's page and her YouTube page. She's only got a couple of videos up, but she captured what sounds like Gabriel, our angel Gabriel, on her DR60. Pretty cool stuff, Amelia. I got to tell you, I thought that was cool. Sounds like something I suggested last week. Oops. You did, Randy. You did. Michael's reminding me, and I forgot. What else did I want to tell you before the time's up? I got 8 minutes here. Maybe listening to the voice for a while, your brain will adjust and hear it more clear. I don't know. Sometimes I hear it perfectly and sometimes I don't. And Michael says you're handling the light much better. So apparently I wasn't handling it very well the last couple of weeks or so because I was going through this very weird down period or something. Now he's saying I'm handling the light better. Next week it will be shit. I have no idea. I'm just rolling with it. It's just the freaking best journey you can ask for. Tonight I was talking to this Indian guru guy that comes to my life meeting, and he was like, God, what was he saying? He was saying some really great stuff. He goes, that's all it is. He goes, we are God, He goes, the question is, are we willing to become Buddhas and Christs? I was like, whoa. I'm like, I don't know. That's a tall order. I don't know, man. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, no one's going to be, it means that can we keep moving into that, that direction, can we keep moving in that direction? It is deep, Tracy. It really was. It was very interesting, very cool. There was something else though. I know I'm going to get off and forget. I want to say a quick prayer with you guys before we close. He told me, first time we talked to you, Marvin Guru, I begged to differ. I'll stop, Rebecca. Thank you. I'm not Christ-like, right? Well, becoming our own. Christ is not Jesus. Jesus was Jesus, the Christ. Buddha, the Christ. Krishna, the Christ. Christ is just enlightenment, the enlightened one. So, Christ-like, sure. Enlightenment is not a permanent state, though. I think it's they're moments, they're moments. Anthony's he moved up a level. He's going to have to go up another level. He's going to want to go up another level again. I'm sure. Oh, that's what I have to tell you. Hold on. Come on, hurry up. Such a pain in the butt. In and out, in and out. All right, this is the last thing I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to sign off. Jesus Christ, stop it. Lisa, stop. That's enough. Please stop saying that, guys. I love you all. That's crazy. That's weird. So I did ask Jesus last night about Anthony, how he was doing kind of thing. And he said that I could ask about him tonight. So I told Michael I was going to ask about him tonight. So after this, at some point, I'm going to go out back or maybe come in here with the recorder and just ask and see how he's doing. So yeah, so we'll see. All right, guys. Like I said, group session tomorrow night. No, you're not jumping up here. You're going to jump. No, come on. Yeshua. Group session tomorrow night. If you're watching this, give me a name. Give me a name, please. If I don't have a name that's on the blank list, check the list. If you're one of those people that haven't given me one, if you haven't already done that, just make sure you check it out tomorrow night. Set a reminder so that you make sure that you do ask that loved one to come through. You can even try to say a code word, see if they'll say the code word, if there's anything to say, and I'll try to tag it if it means something or whatever. So yeah. All right. And I'm so grateful I get to share this with you guys and give you the inside and take you on this ride. And I learn so much from you guys. I just want you to understand that. I really do. I learned so much. Yeah, I have your dad on the list, Dad. I put his middle name in there, Ellis. So that's it. All right. I'm going to say a prayer. I'll lead you guys in a little prayer. And yeah, that'll be it. All right. So, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Oh, here he is with the dinosaurs. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. All right. Lord Jesus, I am so grateful. We are all so grateful for what you are sharing and how you are leading us. We are your disciples. We are your children. We are you. We are part of you. You are us. And you're leading us down a wonderful path, filled with love, filled with light, filled with understanding and gifts beyond belief. And when we fall, we start to feel, alone or unsupported in any way, and we know we can ask you, and you always come through. You always come through. And there's true gratitude there. Gratitude's an action word, so we have to show it. And we thank you for our guides. We thank you for the angels and the guides that we have that are giving us protection, our family members protection, our houses and our energy, that are doing things for us and we don't understand what they're doing for us, doing for us what we cannot do for ourselves. We ask for healings for anyone that's feeling sick, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, all 4 areas. Please heal them. We ask that our guides touch our heads right now and help bring in and usher in light. Lord Jesus, send down the light for us so that we can recharge in and bask in your love and what you are. And we pray for anyone else that really needs something specific tonight that we don't understand or we just don't know, but someone that needs anything specific that's within this group, please do so. Because, we're here to really spread the light and understand more and learn to live closer to you. And we thank you, Father, for everything. So it is. Amen. In the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. All right. No, I think it was the camera, Lisa, but it could be. All right, guys. I love you all. Thank you. And I will give you an update tomorrow after it's done, just to kind of, the feeling. Probably won't know what I have until I start reviewing. So that's how it goes. And give me just a few days on it. It may take some time, but all right. Thank you.